Okay, here we go. It's kind of late. I'm sorry, I'm a little tired. It's 12:30 Eastern Time on Thursday, but I would like to do a MILAB child trafficking report for the 26th of Tuesday. 57 children were brought in from one source and taken to two locations. That one source was AFRICOM, and they abducted these 57 children in South Africa from very poor neighborhoods under the guise that they would be brought to America to orphanages where they would be placed in quote-unquote good homes. Of course, none of them went to good homes. They were all gang raped and murdered by politicians, military, police, and corporate executives. And they were collected over a period of 7 days, and they were taken to an AFRICOM camp where they were gang raped by 106 AFRICOM war criminals, a total of 254 times. They were all flown in on one plane to Langley Air Force Base, where 16 of these children were gang raped by 22 Air Force males, a total of 27 times. Then they were transported to Dulce. 26 of these children were gang raped by a group of 391 males, a total of 983 times. And they were all military men at Dulce, except for 3 U.S. senators and 4 Hollywood executives. And all 26 were murdered by 17 reptilians who brutally slaughtered them and then ate them. Washington, D.C., MILAB number 2, 31 children were gang raped by a group of 267 males, a total of 531 times. 39 U.S. senators, 14 aides, 6 House of Representatives, congressmen, 6 D.C. police officers, 13 state police troopers from Virginia, Maryland, and Delaware, 42 CIA agents, 31 FBI, 21 Secret Service, and then members of the TSA, DHS, 37 corporate executives, along with 4 of their bodyguards. And then the rest were Army. And all 31 children were murdered by 21 reptilians who ate them. For the 27th of April, Wednesday, 16 children, which was a very low number for this month, brought in by one source and taken to one location. NATO was a war criminal agency who brought in 16 children, and they were abducted in a refugee camp in Greece. And then they were taken to a NATO post where all 16 were gang raped by 108 NATO war criminals, a total of 132 times. And then they flew the children to Langley Air Force Base where they were raped by 43 Air Force males, a total of 57 times. These children were then taken to the Pentagon MILAB, and these 16 children were gang raped by a group of 502 males, a total of 1,563 times, which is very typical for the Pentagon. And they were all Pentagon employees except for 14 DARPA males and 2 CIA clones. And all 16 children were killed by reptilians, while 49 males watched from Earth. 49 Earth males watched. Today, 28th of April, Thursday, 32 children were brought in from one source and taken to one location. ICE, another child trafficking company, brought 32 children abducted from Mexican families in southern New Mexico and Texas. And then they were transported to the Albuquerque MILAB. And the parents and the adults that were with these children, they were transported to the Nazi concentration camp in Yuma, Arizona, which the Nazi United States government calls a FEMA campground. And if you've never seen one of my videos before, I've explained how they have a new process to kill us humans. And their plan was they built an underground facility. I don't even know how much, I don't remember, trillions of dollars. And with hotels and trains and grocery stores and everything you can imagine, luxury apartments, and plan to kill everybody off on the surface, take the planet over for themselves, and then transform the planet into what they want. And with the technology of giving children to the reptilians who like to eat them, and they in turn brought in this new way to not kill people, but to destroy the bodies, to destroy the corpses. Because when they kill people, they do it in a way which they produce an adrenaline rush because they're all addicted to adrenaline. And then, I can't really look at the means of how they murder them. It's too much for me. But I do know that it's not cremation, but it does turn our corpses into like a gray powder. And I've witnessed Department of Homeland Security war criminals carrying containers of this gray dust, which is former corpses of mostly Mexican people that they've murdered there, and they just dump it into the desert. Okay, and then these 32 children were taken to Roswell, and they were gang raped by a group of 702 males, a total of 1,373 times. And they were all military, and all 32 children were murdered by the Reptilians, who ate them, while 69 males of the military watched. Now, there is good news. First, there are 207 children being brought to America right now for Friday. Friday is always the biggest day of the week now for some reason. 207 children being brought by 3 sources, and the plan is to take them to 16 locations. But the good news is, and there's actually good news in all of this, that 356 reptilians were arrested today. And apparently there were a lot, like 13,000 people in temporals watching the process of them being arrested. And it's funny what their reaction is, because they think they've all been murdered. But actually, they've been arrested and taken to Iran for trials. That's where everybody who's being arrested. Well, not the Dracos. They weren't taken, and not the Draconians. I don't believe either, the 300,000 or whatever that we arrested a couple of years ago. But, a lot of these trials are already over. And what I wanted to say is the most important thing is the vibration of this planet. The energies of this planet have dramatically shifted. And we went through a natural process, a restructuring of the magnetic energies around this planet. And the sun did this for us, and it basically, in a nutshell, wiped out the rest of the negative energies, the bad energies, and it was completely restructured with the new energies. And now all the satanic and Luciferian reality grid lines are gone, and they have been replaced by what most people call the heaven on earth, energies. It's a process of ascension. The entire solar system has gone through it, and most of the Milky Way galaxy as well. Or not, if not all, the Milky Way galaxy has gone through the process already. The last place is here on planet Earth, because as many people call it, the insane asylum of the universe had some of the absolute darkest and most evil people. Well, like George H. Bush Sr., he murdered well over 500 children while raping them. Barack Obama murdered 284 children while raping them. And, I've been saying for years, the only thing the Obamas proved is 2 of the Bush children could get a tan. And, but the process has changed so much. The vibrations have changed so much. I've explained in earlier reports how we would have to go through this multiple process to prep these reptilians. And, well, there's also been other ones, the insectians or whatnot, before they could be arrested. And when the process would start, the galactics used to come down into my home and pick them up and then take them away. But over time, then they just start taking them. But, and then it went through a process, which was a lot. It was very exhausting. But now it's like, it's just like almost like snapping your fingers and everything's done. It's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. And that's how we arrested 356 today, is because these people, I know it's hard to understand for a lot of people, but their vibration is so low and they're so evil that they can't exist in the higher realms. In other words, like Satan couldn't just go to heaven, you know what I mean? It just wouldn't work. I don't know exactly what would have happened, but you just can't go. Because the vibration is high. Like there's no such thing as a weapon in heaven, because the molecular structure of a gun cannot exist in heaven. It's just not possible. There's no crime in heaven. It's really just the higher dimension. There's the 5th and 6th dimension above us, and that's where all the galactics mostly reside. And then the next level up is heaven. and heaven goes from 7 on up to the highest rungs of the universe. And but so there is good news, even though 207 more children on the way. And my next report will be a man who in Indiana, I don't know if you can see this, there's a man in Indiana who rapes little girls, and he sent me a photo of himself with 3 little girls. And bragging about himself, because apparently he considers himself a hero. And that will be in the next report that I do. And thank you for your prayers. They have really made a difference. We're getting close to, we're getting really close to the arrest of 10,000 reptilians now, and I'm pretty sure next up, or finally, we're getting to the 600,000, arrests of the ones who are from Earth, were born here, because nobody's from Earth. Nobody is from. I was born here, and you were born here. All the people who are living on the surface of this planet, well, except for the ones who come in, have been born here, but none of us. That whole story about how, I forget how it happened, that God one day woke up and had a big magic wand and started turning monkeys into people. It's like, oh, here's a pretty little orange monkey. Alakazam, look, it's Barbara Streisand. Well, that's all BS. Humans have been in this galaxy for 6 million years. We are in the galaxy next door for 12 million years. There's 56 species of humans in our galaxy, 800 million species of people in our universe, and a lot of humans, a lot of different types of humans. One of my favorite are called the Netabaruli, who live on a planet between Pluto and Nibiru. Thank you so much for your support, and thank you for your comments and your prayers. I just absolutely love how many of you have prayed to bring this child trafficking operation to an end. And all the children read those comments. They read every single comment on these videos. I don't have time to do that, but people absolutely love you, and people in heaven absolutely love you for caring about them. These little children especially, because most of them come from extremely poor neighborhoods where they were treated horribly their whole lives. So those little comments you make about the children getting back home to heaven and God taking care of those children, that means so much to them, that their whole lifetime wasn't a waste, because they actually, even though they lived in tragedy, made a huge difference on this planet. God bless you. You know who you are, and I love you too. Have a good day. Thank you.